At 75, world-renowned violinist and king of the waltz André Rieu has captivated millions with his music. But now, he's moving hearts in a new way. In a rare and deeply personal confession, Rieu reveals that behind every breathtaking performance, world tour, and sold-out concert stands the true love of his life, his wife, Marjorie. Married since 1975, their nearly 5-decade-long love story has been the foundation of his success and the inspiration behind his art. From overcoming hardships to building a musical empire together, Rieu credits Marjorie not just as his life partner, but as the soul behind the symphony. This is the untold story of devotion, resilience, and the power of love in shaping a musical legend. A virtuoso with a global audience. André Rieu has long captivated the world with his romantic waltzes, charming stage presence, and ability to make classical music feel accessible and emotionally resonant. With more than 40 million albums sold and audiences of up to 50,000 people filling stadiums across the globe, Rieu has brought joy to generations. His Johann Strauss Orchestra, founded in 1987 with just 12 members, has grown into a massive ensemble of over 130 musicians. Together, they have redefined what a classical concert can be, transforming it into a visual and emotional spectacle. Yet, for all his accolades and achievements, Rieu has remained relatively quiet about his private life. That changed recently when he opened up in an interview that took fans behind the curtain, past the glimmer of the spotlight, and into the quiet strength that fuels his music. The unwavering love and partnership of his wife, Marjorie. Love that outlasted time. I knew right away that she was the one, Rieu confessed, reflecting on the moment he met Marjorie. Their story began in their youth. André was just 11, and Marjorie 13. They met in school, and from that very first connection, something clicked. What started as a childhood bond evolved into a romantic partnership and eventually into a lifelong union. They married in 1975, and as Rieu celebrates his 75th birthday, the couple also celebrates 49 years of marriage. What makes their relationship remarkable isn't just its longevity, but its quiet resilience. From the outside, their marriage may seem like a fairy tale, but like any enduring partnership, it came with its own challenges. In one telling anecdote, Rieu recalled bringing Marjorie home as his bride-to-be, only for his mother to send her away, telling him to clean his room. Rather than becoming discouraged, the moment strengthened their bond. Marjorie stood by him, and together, they proved that their love was built to last. More than a muse, Marjorie's role in Rieu's career. Marjorie Kuckelman is more than André Rieu's wife. She has been a guiding force behind his monumental career. A former teacher and trained linguist, Marjorie initially chose to remain behind the scenes. She managed Rieu's business affairs and helped structure the financial and organizational backbone of what would become an internationally recognized brand. Their home, a grand 15th-century castle in Maastricht, Netherlands, serves not only as their private residence, but also the central hub of the Rieu music empire. With 25 staff and musicians living and working on the premises, the castle is both a family home and a creative sanctuary. Marjorie's decision to stay out of the spotlight has often led fans to overlook her contributions. She rarely accompanies Rieu on public appearances, and in interviews has stated she prefers not to be defined solely by her husband's fame. But those who know the inner workings of Rieu's career understand that she is the bedrock of his success. Without Marjorie, nothing would have come of me, Rieu stated candidly. In a world where musicians are often portrayed as lone geniuses, his words challenge the notion that talent alone is the engine behind success. Instead, Rieu's story emphasizes the power of partnership. A love that played louder than the violin. André Rieu is synonymous with the enchanting notes of his 1667 Stradivarius violin, a rare and priceless instrument whose rich tones have entranced millions. But even this treasured violin pales in comparison to what he considers his most valuable possession, his relationship with Marjorie. Their lives have been so deeply intertwined that Rieu often says the story of his music is also the story of his marriage. For the last 2 decades, there has been little separation between his professional and personal worlds. Every note he plays, every show he conducts, carries the quiet influence of his wife. Each year, the couple takes a short 3-day retreat to Rome, one of the few breaks Rieu allows himself from his otherwise non-stop schedule. "That's our break," he says. "The rest of the year, it's music." Even as he turns 75, Rieu shows no signs of slowing down. "I want to live to 140, he laughs. "So I'm only halfway there." Childhood shadows and the search for joy. Part of what makes Rieu's confession so poignant is the stark contrast between the joy he brings others and the emotional absence he felt growing up. "I can't remember ever being hugged by my father," Rieu admitted. This simple, heartbreaking statement hints at a childhood that lacked affection and emotional warmth. Music, for Rieu, became both an escape and a bridge to joy. It allowed him to feel what he had been missing, a sense of connection, warmth, and expression. In Marjorie, he found not only love, but a source of emotional safety and strength that helped him heal and build a life filled with meaning. This transformation, from a lonely boy to a beloved international artist, is a testament to the power of love to reshape a person's destiny. Fans who watch Rieu perform are now seeing more than just a musician. They're witnessing a man who has overcome emotional silence through the universal language of music. The magic of the concert experience. What makes an André Rieu concert so magical? For many, it's the way he blends grandeur with intimacy, turning massive stadiums into places of emotional connection. The costumes, the lighting, the choreography, all contribute to a visual feast. But at the center of it all is a genuine emotion, a warmth that stems from something deeply personal. When Rieu plays the Blue Danube or a romantic aria, he's not just interpreting notes on a page. He's expressing the love, pain, hope, and joy that have defined his life. The fact that his music can make audiences cry, laugh, and dance isn't just a matter of musical genius. It's a reflection of a heart that has been shaped by deep, abiding love. A waltz that never ends. André Rieu's story is a reminder that behind every great artist is a mosaic of influences, struggles, and relationships that shape their journey. In the case of the Waltz King, that influence is crystal clear. His wife, Marjorie. Their love story is not just a subplot in his life. It is the main theme, the steady rhythm that has guided his every move. As he celebrates his 75th birthday, Rieu continues to perform, compose, and dream. And while his Stradivarius may be the tool of his trade, it is Marjorie's love that has been the soul of his music. Together, they've created a symphony of life, one of romance, resilience, and enduring harmony. In a world often captivated by celebrity and spectacle, André Rieu offers something far more rare, a love story that is real, humble, and profound. A story where the most beautiful music isn't always heard on stage, but felt in the quiet moments shared between two people who never stopped dancing to each other's tune. A marriage that danced through decades. In the shimmering world of classical music, few names resonate with the warmth and elegance of André Rieu. Known globally as the King of Waltz, the Dutch violinist has spent decades bringing joy to millions through his mesmerizing performances. But behind the music, the applause, and the dazzling stage lights lies a quieter, more enduring love story. At 75, André Rieu pulled back the curtain on what he considers his greatest success: his nearly 5-decade marriage to Marjorie Kuekelman. Their journey began in 1975, when André and Marjorie tied the knot, setting in motion a partnership that would outlast the most enduring symphony. From the very beginning, André had a vision, not just of performing, but of building a life and career intertwined with someone who would understand and share in his passion. "I've always wanted a wife who would work with me. I don't know why, but that's been in me since I was a child," André once said, and work together they did. A backbone in the shadows. While André commanded the stage, Marjorie ran the show behind the scenes. She was the one ensuring tours were organized, finances were managed, and the family remained grounded. She raised their 2 sons, Marc and Pierre, while also being deeply involved in the family business. Her contributions, often invisible to the public eye, were foundational to the Rieu empire. It wasn't just logistics. Marjorie inspired André musically as well. Her father, Edgar Kuekelman, had fled Berlin as a Jewish refugee in 1933, bringing with him a priceless record collection that introduced young André to the romantic, whimsical music that would later define his sound. He didn't know that kind of music, Marjorie shared, but he was quickly sold. A castle, a family, and a dream realized together, they built not just a musical empire, but a home filled with history and character. In Maastricht, Netherlands, they restored a 17th-century castle once owned by Count d'Artagnan of Three Musketeers fame. This sprawling estate became both sanctuary and headquarters, where concerts were planned, family dinners were shared, and dreams were built brick by brick. André and Marjorie raised 2 sons within the castle walls. Pierre, now vice president of André Rieu Productions, handles the technical operations of the concerts and is described by his father as his right-hand man. Marc chose a different path, becoming an art scholar and painter, occasionally showcasing his work at his father's concerts. Both sons were given freedom to pursue their own passions, with a strong foundation of responsibility and creativity instilled in them from a young age. Trials that strengthened the bond. Like any enduring love story, theirs was not without hardship. André's health issues once forced the cancellation of several tours, a blow both emotional and financial. But it was in these moments of vulnerability that the strength of their bond was revealed. We find that to be a great gift, that we can work together so closely and in harmony, Marjorie reflected. Even when André's fame soared and admirers gathered in the thousands, Marjorie remained his grounding force. She was famously private, rarely appearing in public with him, and once stated, "I don't want to be defined by my husband." Despite this, their mutual respect and deep affection were palpable. "I know he loves me," she said simply when asked about André's admirers. The music behind the music. The musical influence Marjorie had on André cannot be overstated. It was her father's collection that introduced him to waltzes like the Sportpalast Walzer, Pizzicato Polka, and Geschichten aus dem Wienerwald, pieces that would eventually become the cornerstones of his performances. Before we became famous, Marjorie played those records for me. I heard the Sportpalast Walzer for the first time, and I knew that was the music I could make my own and go my own way with, André recounted. The melodies that now echo in grand concert halls across continents were first born from moments of discovery in the quiet corners of their home. Building a legacy. With financial backing and emotional encouragement from Marjorie, André took the bold step of founding his own orchestra in 1987. What began with just 12 musicians has since blossomed into a 130-member ensemble that performs to sold-out arenas. His vision was simple but revolutionary: to bring classical music to the masses in an accessible, joyful way. Marjorie played an integral role in shaping this vision, from selecting pieces to ensuring the family's Stradivarius violin, a 1667 treasure, was well-maintained and showcased. Her influence ran deep. Though she has stepped back from active management, with Pierre now assuming more responsibility, her presence is still felt in every chord and crescendo. A legacy beyond the spotlight. Their lives are now intertwined with the very music they helped create. While André continues to tour, drawing crowds as large as 50,000, he makes time for the life they've built. The couple's only true vacation, he jokes, is their annual 3-day trip to Rome. That's our break. The rest of the year, I will never stop playing music because I love it so much. The devotion to each other, to family, and to the mission of spreading music has created not only a legacy in notes and performances, but one rooted in love, resilience, and shared purpose. I'd be in the gutter without her, André admits. She helped me to be myself, to believe in myself, and to look people in the eyes. A love that strikes a chord. Marjorie's role was more than just supportive. She was co-architect of a dream, muse to a musician, and guardian of a legacy. In a world where the spotlight often blinds, she chose the shadows, nurturing not just a man but an idea. Her belief in André, when he was still just a struggling musician, allowed him to waltz into history. Their story isn't just about music, it's about partnership, faith, and a quiet kind of power. Behind every standing ovation, behind every soaring melody played on a centuries-old violin, is the echo of Marjorie's love and devotion. As André continues to perform and inspire, his heart remains anchored to the woman who believed in him before the world did. Together, they built more than a music business. They built a legacy of love that will continue to resonate long after the final note fades.